Now, children, we're going to continue with our Bring Your Parent to School Day. Let's welcome Tony's father, Carl.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Here you go, Carl. This should be just right.
Hey, kids. My name is Carl, and I'm a judge.
Like Simon in America's Got Talent?
No. My job is to decide who's right and who's wrong when grown-ups disagree. So, for example, if one person says that another person did something bad, I would listen to both sides and decide who's telling the truth. And then I have to decide what happens if somebody did that bad thing.
Oh, like Judge Judy?
You kids watch way too much TV.
How do you know if they've done something bad?
Well, it usually happens like this. We're all in a big room called a courtroom, and one person stands up and accuses another person of breaking a rule. That person is called a defendant because they have to defend themselves. And if that defendant broke even just one rule, I'd have to punish him.
Would you give him a timeout?
A big one. Sometimes people have to go away to jail for a very long time.
Why do you have to punish them?
Well, it's not that I enjoy punishing them, but, rules are important, and whether we like it or not, they should be followed. And if people did follow them, in the long run, we'd be a lot safer and happier. Besides, if we tell people ahead of time that they'll be punished if they do something, wouldn't it be fair if we punish them if they go ahead and do it?
You sound just like my mom.
Well, let me ask you this. Have any of you heard the word justice? Let me ask you this. Let's say that you all had some toys or some crayons that you were playing with, and the one rule that you had was that you had to share. And then someone came along and said, I'm not sharing my toys or my crayons. I want them all for myself. What do you think should happen?
Off with their head.
A future prosecutor. Well, I don't go quite that far, but you got the idea.
What if they were doing it, they didn't know if it was wrong?
That's something that I might consider. But I found that grown-ups deep down inside know if they're doing something wrong. And if there's any question, well, all the rules have been written down and put into a book. Is there something the matter?
I did a really bad thing. I took an extra cookie at lunch, and that's just like stealing. I don't want to go to jail.
Well, did you say you were sorry?
Yeah.
And did Teacher Nancy forgive you?
Yes.
And what is your name?
Landon.
Well, Landon, I think because Teacher Nancy forgave you, everything's going to be okay. In fact, if that case came into my courtroom and somebody said, Landon stole a cookie, Landon stole a cookie, well, Teacher Nancy would get right up there and say, it's all taken care of, Judge. And then you could trust me to say, okay, it's all taken care of. Case dismissed. You can go. But remember, just because we're forgiven doesn't mean that we can keep doing bad stuff. So we always have to try to do better.
But what about God?
Oh, yes. Well, did you know that God has kind of a courtroom too? Well, I'll be there one day or another. And that old accuser might have said, you did this wrong and that wrong and this wrong and that wrong and this and that and all these things that we've done wrong during our life, not just stealing a cookie. But the teacher, our great teacher, Jesus, would be right there too. And you know what? Our teacher, Jesus, is not just a teacher, but a defender. And if we believe in him and we're really sorry for what we did, well, not only are we forgiven, but it's as if Jesus took the punishment for us. And listen now, because we know what Jesus did, we could stand right up there in front of Judge God and say, God, I trust you. with all that I have, I turn everything over to you. And you know what I think God would do? I think he'd look over to Jesus and then look back at you and look you right in the eye and smile and say, loved one, you're free. Any other questions?
Definitely not like America's Got Talent.